Well, hello, listeners of the Companion to the Companion podcast. This is Ian. I'm here with Sam. Sam, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Wait, are you this Muppet Sam or Sam? Sam. Oh, it's Sam. Sam. Okay, here we go.
Hello.
We got it. Muppet Sam may be joining us later. We have got episode 48, guys. This is a big one. We're officially on home soil. We're on the mainland. Summer 97. It is 7/22/97. Sam, tell us a little bit about the venue.
Walnut Creek in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've never been to this venue. I've been to North Carolina. My brother has a home in the Outer Banks. It's very nice. This is the second show back in the U.S. after their Europe tour of a 19-show summer tour. It was officially released in August of 2008 on video and audio. You can go watch this for free on YouTube. It looks and sounds beautiful. I know Ian and I, off mic, were just decrying YouTube a little. But
well,
really
when you say it
great
looks
to be
beautiful, I mean, it's just the video from the venue, right? Yeah.
It looks beautiful as in these like handheld shaky cams are kind of meh. Yes, it leaves a little to be desired compared to the new, drone shot, multicam stuff. But it's good to be back and exciting, and it's good to see Phish on the big stages again. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into it as we go through all the different stories here. But of the next 5 shows, including this one, are all from this tour, which is fun. It's going to be very exciting. The next 3, I believe. No, 4. The next 4 shows after this, I was at as well. Mm-hmm. We've discussed it, but I saw 14 of the 19 shows this summer, which was the biggest tour I ever did.
Right.
So there will be stories. There will be lore. I know you saw a number of these as well. And just 97 in general, I did a quick math. There's 13 from the fall on the list, which means what we've covered plus that, 22% of this 100 is from the year of 1997. So we will have to find new avenues of digging, new ways of describing and kind of finding little nooks and crannies. And I think this kind of strange, interesting, thunderstormy, first set cut short show is going to be a good starting place.
I think it's a great starting place for a number of reasons. And I like all the things that you just said. I'm going to have to bust out my thesaurus because, we're going to be discussing a lot of music that I suppose is samey in a lot of ways. And we're going to need to figure out how to parse and dissect, if you will. But yeah, we have a shortened set here. I will say, just before we even get started, the show has a status, like a legendary kind of status that existed before it was even released on DVD. I mean, obviously when it gets an official release, that kind of changes things. But I do even remember by fall 97, we had heard about this show, that it was one of the highlights of the summer tour. And obviously because of the second set, it has a pretty crazy second set. And this sort of like lightning infused taste. So these are kind of the reasons that this show is being discussed here today. But we have a number of possible highlights leading up to these things, because the taste is the final song in the set. So I don't think there's going to be any disagreement in terms of Sam and I once we hit to the taste to the end of the show. But let's discuss this intro part.
Yeah, sure. Broadly with 97 too, there's going to be some moments in here. Maybe it's coming off the Europe shows. Maybe it's playing small venues, going to big venues. They've really redefined their sound, added a ton of new material. And I think by 98, they've really figured it out. But in 97, the summer and in the fall, there's almost a thinness to it. Mm-hmm. And I remember being at the concerts and never feeling that thinness. But then listening back on, especially soundboard, like really crispy, clean soundboard recordings, there can be a little thinness. And I think that stems from the way it sounds on the recordings, the instruments the band was using, the way it was being recorded, and the fact they're going from small clubs to these large stages, that it feels like there's more room to fill.
Mm-hmm.
And their sound has thinned out with, there's not as much like aggressive, huge tom runs by Fishman and big, aggressive guitar from, although there is from Trey, but not, there's big, long pockets of him really pulling back.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a thinness that the band by 98 and especially 99 and 2000 find a way to fill in.
Mm.
So one of my only critiques listening to this show so far, and we will have at a lot of 97 shows. I know there's a couple in the fall that you and I feel this way about. They just have like sections of thinness, which, we'll discuss when we get there. But there's not really any in this first set. But there's definitely some interesting moments in the second. I very much loved the show. I think, sure, we can put it on the list. I think the ones they chose from this summer, I debate a bunch of the ones they chose from this summer because there's a few that aren't on this list that definitely should be.
Sure.
And if, maybe when we get to the end of the summer, I'll want to kick a couple off and add a couple others, but they're all good. This show was fantastic.
Right.
I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I think this has a lot going for it, I would say, in terms of it's early in the tour, and it sets the precedent for like the baseline version of this particular song. So like looking back and then looking at the tour following it, it is very interesting to see like what happens with Runaway Jim, what happens with Runaway Sky, or water in the sky, Runaway Sky. What happens with Stash and with Vultures and Taste and Down with Disease and Mike's. Like as we move through the tour, these songs change and evolve quite a bit, but with a direct connection to these performances here.
Yeah, sure.
Very similar types of jams, just like we kind of complain about these days where things can be kind of samey. It was the same in 97, where similar types of jams, similar types of grooves get repeated and refined. And I think this is like a really great baseline show. So it starts off with the Runaway Jim.
Yeah.
Standard great. Got some blues vamping. I really like the segue at the end. Paige has like a really great setup. But
I thought the breakdown that you always mentioned in Runaway Jim at the beginning was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
Little, like,
that was great.
The dynamic kind of shift was really, really well done. And for those of you watching, Fishman in the suit.
Correct. Yeah. It is a visual delight. I mean, Mike's hair, Fishman's wearing the black suit.
Comes out and puts the jacket on the hanger, and there's like and dress shoes when they get in close on his feet.
Yeah.
I remember as a fan being shocked by things like the band changed their stage setup a lot. So there's times they would come out. I hadn't seen them since the multiple tours before, and there wasn't this pervasive internet culture then. So I think people didn't know Fishman wasn't in the dress. I think people didn't know that maybe the band had rearranged their layout on the stage, and the lighting rig changes all the time and still does. It is this band's drive to keep things different. I love it so fucking much. Like it's just it's so endearing because they care about us so much. And just before diving into the music, I think Fishman in the suit is great.
Yes.
I love it. And visually the band is definitely, they're trying to be clean and crispy and professional. And I think Europe changed them a little bit. And you mentioned all these new songs. Tape trading also wasn't such a big deal yet. So I think a lot of people And we had the luck of having both Danny Beers early in my life, especially with, Grateful Dead tapes and stuff. And then we had Captain Shook, we had Brian. So we had people we were getting shows from, but you would have to think half this audience hadn't heard half of these songs.
Right.
And that's exciting just from the summer before. So, all right, tirade over. Runaway Jim, perfect opener, summertime. There's a storm probably brewing on the horizon, maybe, some clouds. People are a little nervous. And pre-thunderstorm, there's always some electricity in the air. And you can kind of like feel it in your fingers, something's going to happen. Runaway Jim.
Yeah, and Runaway Jim, I'm not, I think at the time there had been a couple of big Runaway Jims. I mean, I know there had been, but it wasn't necessarily a jam standard. But as the year goes on, it will become that. And I think for a couple years from this point on, when they play Runaway Jim, they're going to play Runaway Jim. So this is kind of a short, tight one in a weird way, even though it's kind of like 11 minutes or whatever.
Well, as the tour goes on, too, you could see a 40-minute Runaway Jim first set opener, and you didn't know that yet. Right. So the stakes got, by 98, the stakes are up there.
It's true. It's true. And then we go into My Soul.
Nice transition, too, I thought.
Yeah,
it was about it was a real segue.
It was a great segue. Like, I really felt like Paige was just like, I'm gonna tee you up, guys, here we go. And then it was just like a great little segue into My Soul. And it's My Soul.
That's fine.
And then we get into Water in the Sky. My first complaint about the show, it's too slow. It is just too slow.
Yeah, do you think they're trying to do some water songs because they thought it was going to rain? Maybe, I don't know, some drizzle?
I'm not sure.
Like you said.
I mean, it's a new song. So
all the shots are so tight on the band. From the video, you can't really tell if it is raining back, in the lawn or not.
Right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. I would guess it's a nod to the weather. And also new.
It's just a shed, so it's got covered seating and then open lawn. So,
but eventually they'll figure out to speed it up, and I think it becomes a much more charming song. At least it's just a little boring, slow, I would just say.
Yeah, sure.
It's
a skipper.
I'm gonna make some complaints in the show about the band Phish. I'm also gonna give them some great praise, but I do just want to say real quick. Trey was recently on Wong Notes, the Corey Wong podcast. And Mike was just recently on Russell Simmons' podcast, just talking about stuff. And God, I love these guys. I mean, they're just the greatest. And then, so even though I'm going to talk some shit, I'm definitely going to pick on Trey quite a bit tonight. But I just want to say, I love that Trey composes outside of his ability. It really just tickles me. And it's one of the things that I love most about him is he's just so excited about composing and making this new music that he hears in his head that he sometimes doesn't think about the fact whether he can actually play it successfully live. And then he figures out how to do it. And then
he actually tries to compose things that are potentially impossible on the guitar and then play them on the guitar because he's sick of everyone sounding the same and he doesn't want to sound the same. And the boundless energy and curiosity and just willingness to search for the other singular person.
He's a singular person. Yeah, I was just kind of I was saying Water in the Sky was too slow, and I just want to add, I love that song, and I think it's a great song. They just haven't quite found it yet, and I find that charming that they haven't found it.
Sure.
Okay, we get to Stash. Tell me what you think.
It's short but good. I also wrote that the band is just operating on such a high level by this point. That it's joy to listen to and to watch. The way they're just so shiny.
Yeah.
They're so clean and focused, and you can really tell they're hearing each other well. And like I said, the sound just it feels like there's more space and air between what they're doing. It's not muddied up at all.
So do you think that's more psychedelic, like the space that exists? How does that play into the psychedelia of it all for you?
Well, I think a lot of it is the band choosing both how they monitor themselves with how their listening back is, which Paige is doing in-ears now, but the rest of the band's not. But they must have really good, clean, crisp monitors. And I think it has to do with how the band has changed instruments. Over time, they're going to create a lot of, you can see them, all the plastic shielding between the drums and the rest of the band. So it doesn't bleed over onto the other instruments. Mike has switched basses officially at this point. Is playing modulus and not playing languedocs anymore. They're just keep leveling up their instruments and the way they play together to create just this, they used to be kind of these muddy stones, and now they're polished gems.
Right.
Like you can just see the sheen and the clear and crispy edges around things. And yeah, I thought the stash really, it didn't go anywhere interesting. It just was a well-played summertime stash. It just, their bar for their average is rising.
Mm-hmm.
And, we just came off discussing one of the best stashes of the year. So yeah, this one was fine.
Yeah, I wrote classic stash, little hints of inspiration, but stays on the path.
And kind of getting stuck between Water in the Sky and Bouncin' too. I feel like it stood out a little bit more because the two sides of it were a little meh.
Right. But it's fulfilling its classic mid-first set stash role, right? I mean, it's a role that continues to this day. And then we get to Bouncin', and again, it's Bouncin'. It's Bouncin'.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'll take it. It was pretty. It was fine.
All right, so now let's get to the first real discussion here. So we've got Vultures next, and this is going to be our highlight of the episode. We're going to discuss all of the Vultures throughout the years.
Yes.
And it definitely brings us back to my comment about composing outside of your comfort zone, because this song's fucking crazy. Sam, as a musician, would you like to just talk a little bit about the structure of this song? How is it different than a normal pop song?
I think in every way it's different. The only part that I think really sits with you as a traditional style of pop music or rock music is the dun 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 dun. That's it.
Right.
The rest of the song is much more akin to classical composition. Especially, it kind of has two parts. Well, I should say two lives of Vultures. So it debuted in 97, the first show of the summer, 6/17. I guess, do we call Brad Stock a shit?
That's not a show.
No.
We weren't invited.
And it has had
four.
We were not. Yeah. It has had 49 official performances to date. And there's 9 that make the jam charts, only 1 that has the yellow jam charts. I saw 7 of the 49, so I saw a number of Vultures because this was my period of seeing Phish a lot. Never album released, but it is on the Trampled by Lambs Tom and Trey, which I like that version. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
I went back and listened to that. And it took a transition in, I believe it was 98. Is that when it had? Yeah. So fall 98, they tack on the second instrumental section, and I think it changes the whole song. It's exactly like how they tacked on a small second section to Velvet Sea at the end of the composed part, where it makes the song for me. So I think the pre-fall 98 Vultures are fantastic. I think the improv sections are great. It's just the composed section I like a little bit more after they add the secondary instrumental part. I think it's a little thin as a song prior to that. Although I lyrically find it great. I just think that the additional lyrics to the, even the ghost line kind of ties it back into Story of the Ghost in 98. So for me, it kind of sits on two sides of that fence. But compositionally, like I said, the beginning is much more classical based. And I think it throws back to some of what I like to call the Dungeons and Dragons Phish lyrics a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Where it's quest-like and exploratory and kind of spooky almost.
It is a little bit spooky.
Dark.
But it also kind of ties into
dark clouds.
To Trey's Eckhart Tolle era as well. A little bit of both.
Yeah, sure.
A little bit of both.
Sure. What do you think? Time. Give me some background synthesis on
Well, I would say I totally agree with you that once they kind of rework the composition, it becomes a bit more of a more interesting whole piece of music. But I do think that something that gets lost after this initial run of performances is this sort of this rhythmic, trying to think of the best way to play it, but it's very herky-jerky rhythmically, where it's kind of throwing you back and forth,
Like falling down a few stairs sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, like it really is very sort of bouncy, and it's very the rhythms are very defined. Like where Fishman plays and
Mm,
where Mike plays, it's like there's almost staccato moments where it stops, like, and it breaks into sections, and that kind of goes away and becomes much more flowy as
mm,
once we get into 98. And I also just think that there's a particular type of like nervy excitement, like an urgency or like a specific intentionality when they're performing the early performances of a song. So when they first write something, they're really excited to play it for us, and it's really fresh for them. And I think that there is an energy that comes out that just it just slowly seeps away the more they play it and the more they get comfortable with it. And I did find,
mm.
as I listened to all 49 of these vultures, that the ones from 97 are pretty exciting. Like there is just a little bit of a like something to them that I don't know, a little extra mustard. I don't know exactly how to put it into words, but I recommend listening to really every single 97 version.
Yeah, when they got later and they didn't play it as often, I felt like when they did play it, people were excited to see it. The
Yeah.
audience was excited. It was like, wow, we haven't seen this. But the performances themselves were a little bit muted, possibly. I wish there was a little asterisk that said next to each song that was played at the sound check.
Right,
Because I'm
right,
curious
right.
if they like go re-sound check it before. I don't know. I don't know. But yes, I did not listen to all 49 performances, but I did listen to a number of them.
I'm sure,
and
yeah.
enjoyed them. Really only found one that ventured really out there into true Type 2 territory.
No, there's not a
But
lot of Type 2, and I would say thank God. I just don't think this is the song
sure.
for Type 2. I mean, if you want to do it once or twice, that's fine.
No, but
Um,
it's already a very unique piece of improvising through
right.
that section of the song. So it's okay to keep it in that zone. It's a fun zone.
Yeah, I will say that, Sam and I have done a lot of these like deep dives where we listen to many versions of songs. And this was a particular song where 49 was a reasonable number that I could, obsessively
Mm,
commit to. But I never tired of the compose section. Like, I mean, I
yeah.
oftentimes would wake up in the middle of the night or in the morning singing the lyrics to Vultures in my head because I listened to too many. So there was that negative side effect. But I never threw on a version where I was like, I just don't want to listen to this song anymore. Like every time those circular vocals get me, I just find them so entrancing. And I'm going to have to admit that this is probably one of my favorite Phish songs.
Yeah. Lyrically, it's awesome. I really like I said, when they tack on the second instrumental part, I loved the addition of those lyrics. I loved the addition of that part. It kind of refreshes the top of the song in a way, 3 minutes into the song, which is cool. Super cool.
Yeah, and it really inspires Trey to do some like really wild like sort of improvisation because he's like moving so
Mm,
fast. And especially in the early bit of the song, he is expecting a lot out of Mike and Fishman. Like Trey is
mm,
he has composed this thing and he is excited about it and he is taken off. And he is like, keep up with
mm.
me, guys, keep up with me. And they don't always do it, but it is very fun to listen to. And then I noticed as the years kind of went on that his solos, he went through like a little bluesy vampy period. And then he kind of gets into this where I don't want to necessarily say that it's tonally similar to his Heavy Things solo, but it's very playful and loose and melodic and just full of up and down sort of fun runs, I guess I would say, where it's not usually dark. It's usually very playful, very
Mm.
classically inspired. Anyway, all right, let's get
Yeah.
into it. Let's talk about some favorite versions.
Huh.
I think that this 722 version is fairly tight. It's fairly intentional,
Yeah.
and as I listened to all of them, I used it as the sort of springboard, the standard. Like this is the studio version, the 722.
Yeah, it is a very good, very well played. I would also say the Gorge version too from 8.3
Mm-hmm.
is very similar in that it's a studio-esque quality to the song. I also, before we jump into all the versions, there is a similarity with this song, both compositionally, but also, in the timeline of Phish with both Limb by Limb and then Twist Around.
Oh yeah.
which are songs that are
Yeah.
attempting to like lay a springboard of improvisation that is melodically static, but rhythmically very, very fluid and loose and bouncing. And it can really shift. You're not dancing.
Right.
But if you're a creative dancer, you're definitely dancing creatively.
Right.
Like there's melody and rhythm, and the rhythm is standard-ish rhythm, but the way that it toys with it in a way, Badesky, Martin, and Wood would toy with funk rhythms and make it very, they always know where the one is, but they really push like where the one is. And Phish is doing that with this out there improvising, where it definitely has a pulse and a heartbeat, but it bounces around, rain off the top of a drum. It's very wild. And
it's very
those three
bouncy.
songs. Yeah, and those 3 songs have a lot of that similar quality. So yeah, I jumped straight from 722 to the Gorge.
Yeah, so we saw one at Shoreline. We saw one at Shoreline on 731,
yes.
and it's fun. It starts great, but eventually they kind of lose their way. They bring it back home for the extended ending. And then 8-3, the Gorge one, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. I will say, it inspired me to re-listen to that first set, and good Lord, if you're not familiar with the first set of 8-3-97, and do yourself a favor and go into it with the ears of like, I'm not about to hear some sort of blowout improvisation, but I'm about to hear there's never been a band listen to each other more than the band in this first set. They are so tight and experiment. There's so much improvisation in short jams in every single song in the first set. It's kind of mind blowing. But I had a great
having been at the Gorge 97, 8, and 9. I think the only one on this list is the second night from 98. So we'll eventually discuss the Gorge, but it inspires a certain type of music, that stage and that surrounding and that setting. It's like Red Rocks, where like the venue and the sites inspire a band. No matter who you are, it's a magical land up there in George. And I think, that whole set was really fun to be a part of and also to re-listen.
And I had a nice vision of the band playing inside an oversized balloon, and they were trying to punch their way out of the balloon with the music, and that kind of represented the bounciness that you're talking about. I had some great visions.
I can see that
one. You also saw, we had one on 8-11. It's a little bit longer than the last. It starts at a slower pace.
Well, it's a crazy spot to mid-second set. I mean, they played around a little bit with it on this, in between 97 and 8, where it's like, let's drop this mid-second set.
Right.
There's one from 99 that we'll discuss too, but then for the most part, it kind of moved back to set 1.
Right.
Most of the 97s were set 1.
Right.
So this was putting it in a pretty heavy hitter spot.
And they adjusted it to fit the role.
It's dark. I feel like the rest of this set from that show, I think that was the Yum night, which was this big bouncy. I think Ryan Adams once described the Grateful Dead as like a giant tricycle with inflatable wheels riding down a hillside, and that's kind of what Phish Yems from 97, 98 are to me.
Yeah.
And so I think this was the darkness in that set. I loved this one. I really enjoyed the re-listen. both of those Deer Creek nights were fun, and both of them sound, ugh,
Yeah.
they leave a lot to be desired. They're just boomy, and it's hard to get a great audience recording there. So, Kev.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right.
Oh man, a lot of these vultures would really pay off from a soundboard, I will say. But yeah, it's much less start-stoppy. It's much less intricate, and they end up hitting a kind of tasty, kind of like that sort of big, majestic, tasty.
Sure.
And Page just starts slamming the keys. He's just yeah. So very very fun.
This lets him.
End.
It's good.
And then we get to The Great Went, and I have, quote, not necessarily feeling it. So I don't know. What did you think of The Great Went one?
I have similar things to say. The Great Went's a weird. We will get there, and we will discuss. They're both on this list. There was some ups and downs at The Great Went. I think people like to lump them into these shows were just amazing, and they were. They both were amazing, but there are some moments of meh. Yeah, and this was another one. It was kind of
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it didn't fit into the party atmosphere. Too dark?
Yeah, maybe.
Too brooding? I don't know.
That's perhaps. I mean, I just think that maybe they just weren't in the moment for that song, I do think it's not a song you can kind of just go through the motions and play. And I think just sometimes, a band's going to be going through the motions, especially.
Maybe it doesn't work on a massive stage.
Yeah.
It's such a big audience there. And maybe it's more of a tight little song, and it didn't.
Sure.
The vast expanse of heads that goes as far as you can possibly see didn't feel like the energy of Vultures. Yeah. I could see that.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
And then we move on to 98. And yeah, I have to agree with you.
Oh, no, you missed one.
Oh, I did.
You missed one.
What did I miss?
12/13/97 at the Pepsi Arena.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that was the first one that I listened to that touches on going Type 2. It kind of has these hints of they're trying to break out of the cycle. And I think it's fall 97. So everything the band touched in fall 97 was, I don't know. Let's go into this with maybe it'll be a half-hour version. Who knows?
Right.
I mean, maybe not bouncing, maybe not, water in the sky, but even a Vultures was, let's see what happens.
It is jammy. Yeah.
And it was, a little longer.
It's less choppy. It's less
different.
Angular. It's more flowing. It's jammier. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It was awesome.
But then we're in 98. Yeah. It was good. I liked it.
But yeah, 98 I feel like is the year for Vultures. I was pretty surprised by how much I really loved. I mean, there wasn't too many. There's only 4. There's 4 versions of
I think I didn't count how many were in 97, but definitely half. Of all Vultures played were probably in 97. So
and then it just and then it's like 4, 3, and 2, and then 2 kind of becomes the standard per year. There's a couple of years with just 1.
Yep.
But yeah, it starts off with 7/29/98, which is a cool show. It's short but very sweet. It's got an intense build. It has a great climax, and then we get. I'm really liking Trey's tone during these performances. In 98.
98, like, I know everyone leans into 97, and we're about, like I said, we're about to do 22% of these, we're in the 22% of the shows, but 98 gets a little overlooked sometimes.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of shows in 98, and I did not see one bad show.
Right.
It was a great year. I will stand by that year as being fantastic. I loved the summer of covers. I loved what the band was doing. I mean, maybe the drugs were seeping in a little. Maybe the party atmosphere was seeping in a little. But I liked a little bit of that. I liked a little bit of loosey-goosey. And
for sure. I
was there to have a good time, too. Maybe Vultures did well with the versions from that year. So
I feel like they did. Let's see. I'm just trying to note. There's some interesting versions. We have 10/27/98. It's got a sloppy start. And I just think in general, it's a pretty swag version. This was the one version that I didn't necessarily like from. But it, again, I got to give credit to these guys. Then they put this just unique, vocal. They're doing this drifting in time vocal section that they just decide to do in the middle of the jam, what they've never done before. And they never do it again. where just the four of them kind of like take off on this little, where they really sort of develop the I'm drifting in time, and they're kind of doing the overlapping vocals, and it is very cool for a few seconds, and I kind of am just like, oh, I wish you'd try that again.
Yeah, Fishman becomes so rhythmic with his vocals through it because he's drumming so aggressively behind it that I love the way like it's like falls into his drum pattern. It's very cool.
I mean, Fishman is without a question the MVP of this song. There was not a single of the 49 versions that didn't at least end with me being like, well, Fishman saved it. Like either Fishman made it or Fishman saved it is what I thought.
Well, he's such the star at the end too. So
exactly. And every,
you kind of always lead with him.
Every version is different. There really is not a same drum beat in any of these 49 versions at the end. The end drum beat that he plays at the end is always different. And I know that's a very Phish thing to do, and it's not very surprising, but it is fucking crazy impressive.
It's almost like a solo for him. So with some structure, and he's able to really let loose.
Yeah, always.
And then you jump to I think one of the better shows of all of 98, the 1127 version, right?
Yeah, and this one's on the jam chart, right?
Yeah, this one was great, and it's got the new instrumental section, and I loved this version. I thought it was standard and raucous, but it asserted itself as, if you listen to 722 and then you listen to this, they're a little different.
Oh, they're very different.
I see the vultures moving.
I've got a little bit to say about this.
Sure.
It's got lots of gusto. I would argue it's borderline obnoxious. Maybe a touch too fast. I mean, I don't want to say, but it's faster than normal. And there's very little consideration of rhythmic dynamics. It just kind of goes. Whereas other vultures are very kind of like interested in the rhythmic dynamics of the song and the bounce. And this one's just kind of like going. And Trey, I'm going to give Trey, I'm giving you effort, an effort award on this. You really tried to put it out. But I think I got to side with Mike on this one and just say it's too many notes. Too many notes for me in this Vultures. But it is still really fun and an amazing, amazing show.
Yeah, A+ show. I don't know if it is on this list, but probably. I'm just assuming.
It probably is. So, yeah, that's 98. And then we come into July 4th, 1999, baby.
Yeah. I remember this summer of 99, I saw the Great Wood shows. And I remember the 4th of July show. I think I remember listening to it that year. It was okay.
Yeah. I feel unequipped to give a proper review because this show just sounds so muddy and shitty. It's kind of hard to tell, but I mean, I think it starts promising. It's sparse, it's tight, and then Trey starts to get a little whale call whiny. For me, this is sort of like the beginning of the tones that I don't 2000 love. Thing. Yeah. So that starts to become a little bit of an issue with Vultures here.
Trey tonal dissonance.
Totally. These are my comments for 716 and 726.99. I was 10% annoyed by Trey, but I still loved it. 726 was very similar to the last one, but forced to choose. This one's better. But I was still 10% annoyed by trade. Any thoughts on those?
No, I did not listen to those.
Okay.
I skipped straight to 921.
And then, then I have 916.99. Perfectly fine, but certainly not inspired. A quick version. Okay, and we're moving on.
So I missed nothing. Good.
You missed nothing.
I'm glad you did the work, though. I'm proud of you. I think when it comes down to it, you're always the one who does the extra work.
Well, you know what? You're doing the editing, Sam. So no matter how much listening I do, you're always doing more work. That's how I feel about it. Okay, so 921.99. This is the yellow version.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it so much. In all the versions I listened to, which I think with that one it was a baker's dozen. I listened to 13.
Okay.
Not 49. And this was the one I liked overwhelmingly the most. It was great. I loved the way that they improvised in it. It was only an extra couple minutes. It wasn't like it was,
sure,
20-minute version of it. But it was great, and it made me wish that they did it a little bit more. Not massive versions, just tacking on an extra minute or two. I also think that they could have improvised at some point with the intro, the bidda-da-doom, bidda-da-doom, bidda-da-doom.
Yeah.
Just stretch that out an extra 30 or 40 seconds. I'm not trying to tell the band what to do.
That would be great.
They're just these little holes in the song where you could
Yeah.
take a breath and loosen up. And I think that they do it in the jamming section of it. And they do I go listen. Everyone should listen. The show is really fun all around.
Yeah.
And this is a really well played, again, mid-second set. So you're putting more weight on the shoulders of the song. And I think the band was feeling it this night and they kind of went for it. And it's a great effect.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, soundboard, please, Kevin. Again, does not sound
always.
good. You can't really hear what's going on. But I had been waiting in my brain. I had been waiting for the use of the backward guitar solo. I thought that particular sound is appropriate for Vultures, and I remember listening to versions previous to this being like, when's he going to use that backward guitar solo? So he finally does it here. I guess it doesn't really start until Fall 99. It doesn't start till Fall 99. So I was expecting something that he wasn't using yet. So he did kind of use it as soon as he brought it on tour. I think it works to great effect here. Nice spacey exploration. For me, Trey becomes a lot at some point, but I mean, I think it's still amazing. I think you and I have slightly different expectations of the song, where I'm much more focused on the composed part of it and what they're doing to play with what's already there, as opposed to them using it as a springboard for something else. But I do love this idea of them extending the beginning. I love these ideas of them sort of expanding those middle vocal jams. I like all that. I like it when they drag out the end a bit. But yes, this is a must-hear version and must be released.
Yeah, it's very good.
Week later, get a 10-4-99. Pretty solid backward guitar solo. But Mike is just laying a sick bass line. This was like the first one where I really was just like, damn, Mike, pushing those Vultures to the next level. So if you're going to go and listen to 10-4-99, make sure to listen to Mike. Of course, Fishman keeps it tight. And then 10-10-99, I thought was fantastic. I think it was a peer to 921. A big chaotic finish, but I feel like Trey's soloing so refined that it's earned, and it totally works. So this is similar to the 921.
Wild sheets of sound with the over the top build at the end too, which was and lots of energy, lots of just. This was a condensed version of the 921,
right?
And bigger, more energy. They went, instead of kind of veering off onto a side path, they just took it straight up.
That's
well said. Really well played. I like the composed section of 1010 a lot too. It's good.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I'm glad you listened to that one. Okay, and so now we're done with 99, and we're moving on to 2000. We got another thing that I will notice is there's a lot of repeat dates here. So I don't know if this is something that Trey's aware of, or if it's just like, we're all on this sort of
wonder,
like cycle. But there's a ton played on 8-2. There's quite a few played on 7-1, or the first day of the month. So we have 7-1 and 10-1 right here. But 7-1 is great, and I really like in 9.
I wrote a couple too many notes.
Oh, okay, go.
Couple too many
notes on 7-1. Okay,
still very good. Trey is ripping, but it suffers a little from that too many notes.
Right. Yeah, a lot of these.
I think the band kind of is like, all right, man, like we're gonna get out of this because we know you're good at the guitar.
Right. Well, conversely, on 9/11, which is the next one, he goes into layering. And I think that really worked, as opposed to the too many notes.
Sure.
So kind of creating a soundscape. And then the 10-1-0-0, it's okay, but the jam is pretty ugly, but I didn't hate it. So if you're into an ugly Vultures jam that you're not going to hate, 10-1, check it out.
Yeah, that was where I stepped off the train. I only listened to the one more version from 234.0 that is on the list of 723.22. I did not listen to another Vultures after 2000 except that one. And all I wrote was, from Bethel, I wrote, okay, after listening to all these other versions, my feelings about 3.0 and 4.0 feel justified. Woos equal thumbs down.
Oh, Sammy.
Yep, that's how I was feeling. Sorry, everyone who's... Well, when I was... I hated the fucking glow stick wars, too, and I hated the woos. I'm into crowd participation. The people who handed out at Red Rocks 96 the little thing saying, do this when Phish plays this, and then when Phish played Harry Hood in the lightning storm, since we're in a show talking lightning storms, and the entire crowd screamed back Hood when they said Harry, and the band was shocked. They were giddy, and you could tell. It was one of the Phish moments of my life I'll never forget.
Right.
So maybe the people that were there for the woos thought it was cool, but man, fucking calm down.
Well, I can't remember. Sorry. Okay, so we'll get into it as I kind of discuss each version, but the woos start at a certain point, and then they continue until the band starts playing over the woos, and then the audience stops wooing and it goes away. And the last version is wooless, and actually it wasn't. but close to the last one. There's a couple woo-less ones, and I think we're kind of over the hump. I personally think there are genuinely some great versions of Vultures and 3.0. But I'll
hit me. Let me know which ones you
I'll
like.
tell you with them. But yeah, the woo stopped on 7:30:24. So the last two performances, 7:30:24 and 7:9:25, are both woo free. So I think I think you're in the clear.
Good.
Okay, let's get back to 2.0.
Way to go, everybody.
Yeah, 2.0 was not great for Vultures, but not as bad as you might imagine. 7:8:03. There's only 4 versions. Sloppy composed section, but a great second half, as is true of all these fucking 2003, 2004 shows. Oftentimes the composed section is just really painful, and then you get to the jam and you're like, wow, this is really great. 7:21 was a good version. It was cleaner than the last, and then 7:8, and it was fun, but it wasn't super inspiring. 8:2, the It version, was entertaining, but it loses its... Like, I really like the snap of Vultures. So Trey's going to start getting bluesier solos here, and I don't love that. So this is the beginning of where he kind of starts, he loses the snap and it becomes bluesier. But again,
there's kind of the atonality of his playing that I love so much in the song, where there are these little bursts of notes that come in strange. It's almost more like Robert Frippish at times than it's bluesy, you know, and although Robert Fripp can play blues too, but I do think even by the 2000s versions, that was losing a little bit, but yeah,
for sure.
All right.
And then we get to 6:24:04, which we're into the 04s. This is a questionable period. Page has a really cool keyboard sound in the compose section, and honestly, it's a pretty good version. I was going into this 04 version thinking, oof, Vultures, this is going to be rough in 2004, but it was okay. And as long as you're there, as long as you're visiting 6:24:04, the vocals are a little rough in 2004 because it's just the post-nasal drip of the oxy and the cocaine. It's just wreaking havoc in there. So yeah, the vocals are a little off, but the tube is freaking amazing. So you want to listen to go listen to Tube 6:24:04. Fantastic.
Okay,
you're gonna love it. So yeah, there's our 2.0s. Then we get into 3.0, 11:28:09. It starts off. Except for his shrill tone in the jam, I think we know who we're talking about. Pretty exceptional version.
Okay.
7.
But the composed section is tight?
Composed sections through most of the... I'll say if it's rough. I'm going to note if it's a rough section.
I think they were resurrecting and dusting off and cleaning up songs in 3.0 a lot and really trying to nail them.
Yeah, I think so. The composed section was great.
They came back with Fluffhead. Yeah. So they were trying to say, like, look, we can still do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
I
very
appreciated it.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I'm glad you mentioned that. And then 7.2, the bendy tones were even worse. Still, it was still fairly well played, I said. But I've got a star here at Gayutica 10:20:10. It's a quick pace, but Fishman has decided to rock the wood block in this version, and I love it. I love the wood block. It has you're not super familiar with 2010, but in 2010, Mike songs, lights, big jams tended to have this sort of like wonky... I don't know how to describe this type of jam, but it was like a jam that they used to play in the jams in 2010. And it's like it's like whatever. And so they tack that jam into this Vultures.
Is that like the Plinko thing?
Yeah, it's not as fun as Plinko-y, but yeah, similar to that. Okay. I'll bring up a good example of it in a minute here.
The one show I saw in 2010, my return to Phish was awesome.
But yeah, Sam saw the Harry Hood from I think it was 11/28/10, isn't it? 12/28/10? What's the date? Oh, it's 11/28/10.
Oh, so I saw 2 shows that year. Yeah, okay. I saw the Manchester show too.
Night Nurse and the Plinko Harry Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lucked out, man.
Yeah, that Plinko Harry Hood was like 70% of why I love that show. The show was fine.
Yeah.
And the Worcester Centrum's fine.
Right.
But it was cold that night. Not as cold as tonight. But the Plinko Hood.
There's a pigtail in the first
remember
set.
Breaking my face smiling during that.
So I've listened to that thing so many times. And then you had the Alaska with the Sarah Palin keychain lyrics.
Yeah.
There were some funny moments to that show. But yeah,
was a good show.
the
It
Utica
was
one
fun.
is great. I really think this is one of the highlights of the song, so I suggest checking out that version.
Okay.
Yeah. 6-11-11, rough start, couple of off moments. But really fun jam. 12-30-11 on the whole pretty good. Had some cobwebs to shake off, but by the end was spot on. I think that's kind of like that review is probably fairly applicable to many.
Had a few
voters.
cobwebs to shake off, but ended up being great.
Yeah.
I think the band loves the song.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can say that. I think we love the song, but I definitely think the band, what I got out of all these versions was they're proud and they're excited to play it, and their energy is palpable when they both begin the song and get into the structured section, and they treat it with such a delicate, it's not the hardest version or the hardest piece of composition that they play. Most difficult piece of composition, I guess I should say. And it's not 8 minutes of difficult composition. It's short. It's 2-3 minutes, but it's not easy. And it seems like the band is giddy every time. They seem, especially the 97 through 2000, they seem really excited about it.
I hope so.
And I think it pushes through. And I think the jamming shows a different side of Phish that doesn't exist in any other song. Like I said, it's similar to some of the other new material at this time, but it's just, I don't know. I'm a huge fan as well. Yeah. And I'm glad that after listening to 49 versions, you still consider it to be one of your favorite songs.
Yeah, I'm reading some of these reviews and being like, oh, I should listen to that one again. It's been a few weeks since I heard it. And then we get to 7-1. Again, these dates, another 7-1. Composed section, really strong. Jam starts cool with Mike playing a really interesting pattern. Unfortunately, it's more of a pad for Trey to do some jazzy blues licks instead of a full band improv, but it's still a really great version. So, and like you said, the fact that there are so many different styles, like it's not always the same, and it's kind of always different. And I think that lends to the fact that they do like the song and they do enjoy playing it.
Yeah, and I feel like there's very few versions that go on too long. Mm-hmm. I feel like they know exactly when to kind of jump out and start doing the drum out.
Totally. 8-2-13, the vocals, at least in the recording, seem a little off, but it's a really, really tight version, and Trey is playing incredibly nimbly. Like, there were points in 2000, in the 3.0 and 4.0, where you're kind of like, oh, Trey's an old man now, but sometimes he just kind of like gets into it. It gets on a run, and you're like, holy shit, man, you can still do it. And there was some really cool stuff in this 8-2-13. 10-25, Trey coming in early was a little off. Fairly uninspired jam, kind of touch lazy. I think this was like a version maybe where they were just kind of like, Trey wrote it on the set list, but maybe we're not necessarily feeling it tonight. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because on 8-3, 2014, again, 8-2013, 8-3, 2014, Not too shabby. Great little jam and a fantastic ending. And then 8/11, 2015, I have Pretty Fucking Great. I guess they all come with woos now, though. I guess it's fine at the end because it's already structured that way. I guess that was my thing with the woos, is since it's already structured with the breaks and Fishman's solo, that as long as the audience is participating correctly, I do think it can work.
Am I a bad guy if I was at a show and
mean,
people started doing the woos and I just stood with my arms crossed?
People
and just
hate the woos. I've seen people shush people for wooing at shows. Yeah, people hate the woos, and I get. It's funny. I'm just gonna bring this up real. I'm gonna save it. Remind me to bring something up in the taste if I don't bring it up when we get to the taste. Okay. But
I will.
Yeah, again, 8/11 is really great. 7/9 2016, maybe not quite as good as the past, but still okay. And then 7/29 and 17 is a cool one because it has this really hushed feel to it, where the whole jam, the whole band is like real quiet, and they're like, let's just kind of like take this down a little bit. Nobody hit any like big notes, and it just has this like really sort of mellow, hushed feel to it that's very interesting and quite different than other versions. And I love that. All right. Here we go to 2019. 7/14/2019. I did ask you to listen to this version. I don't know if you actually did. But here's my review of it. Trey's tone is garbage. Ruins the whole thing. Plus, it's wobbly. It's often off key, too. I understand what they were going for in the jam, but it just doesn't. An expressionistic power jam, drunky power jam, does not work in this particular version. Ruined it.
I didn't finish it if it makes you feel better. I started it, and at some point in there, I was like, yeah, fuck, God, I do not. My life is wall to wall, and like, I don't have time for this. And again, sadly, that's like part of, we split hairs. We parse these little things about this band that we truly love, but I just don't have time for things that aren't at least, batting 50-50. We got to get up there. We got to find out. I don't know. Sometimes I guess I have time for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am proud that you went through them, and I put that on, and I barely made it through the compose section. I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that the whole band really commits to this big drunky blowout power jam. And by the end, they win you over. They really do win you over. But I because you and I are parents and we have little kids, this is what I think of. There's a version in 97 that does a similar sort of thing with like a big jam. But I said earlier that I think it really works in that case. And I think the difference being is that in the 97 version, the compose section is so tight and they're taking it so seriously that when they make this conscious decision to go off into this other region, I'm like, okay, you earned it. You earned it. So kind of like when I'm parenting my kids. And I'm like, you know what? You were good all morning,
or the cookie,
but then you were an asshole right now. But I'm not really gonna yell at you right now because you were good all morning. But this 7/14/19 version is so sloppy that by the time they attempt the power jam, I'm like, fuck you for trying to win me over. I'm like really bitter. Just like, don't try and win me over now, motherfucker. And that's how I get with my kids too. And they're really bad. And then they realize that they've pushed me too far. And then it's all of a sudden they cruise through the room and they're like, Daddy, I love you. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I know exactly what you're doing. So yeah, that's what I think about this jam.
Yeah, the occasional, hey, thanks for doing this for me, Dad. I was like, you're welcome.
Anyway, so as it goes on, Trey is still I have a lot of tonal issues, and interesting to listening to the Corey Wong thing. It was kind of funny listening to Trey how he was really struggling with his tone from 2016 until for a few years where he was just trying to like figure it out, and I couldn't agree more. But I'm so glad you went back to your old setup, Trey. You sound much better now. And I
think he was just. Sometimes when you have that much money and time and energy and effort you're putting in, you want to keep changing and growing and moving.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best thing to do is go backwards. I heard Mike talk about why he stopped his modulus SWR
Right.
rig that he ran in, 97 through 2000. He stopped that because he was too loud on stage.
Right.
And started to whittle it back. And now he doesn't even have speakers on stage.
Right.
And he went all the way from, Jesus, he was rocking multiple 18s, wall of speakers, which as a bassist, you're like, yes. And now he has 0 speakers.
Interesting.
And, we all evolve. We all move around.
Yeah.
He also plays totally different basses now. He still plays his modulus a lot, but he has a lot of basses he plays. And cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that they're, and at first it took me a long time to like Mike's new sound. A long time. I really hated it when they came back and he was playing, he switched over to Dave Eden, which they're great heads and I love the tone and stuff. I get it. And he's able to punch through a little more and not be so warm and round, but it just made me miss, I play SWR, so it made me miss that.
Right.
But, Trey kind of did the long way around to coming back to his roots in some ways.
Yeah. But I like that he did. I mean, he created a lot of amazing shit through those times. And
keep changing, man. I love it.
For sure.
Like I've always said, the best Phish show I could ever see is if they walked out and played all new songs that I'd never heard ever one single time before.
Right.
The whole show. Every Phish show I've ever seen, that's all I've ever wanted. I want a new band. I want new it's because it's the hardest thing you can ever do as a band. And I always they're one of the only bands I dreamed that could ever do the hardest thing. So
Yeah, totally. I think, what something you mentioned before about a lot of these 3.0 versions kind of comes to light in 10/30/21, and that it's it's fun, but the vocals are just horrendous. And when the vocals are horrendous and they're just kind of having fun, they sound like a shell of themselves. It just don't, you're like, this isn't really Phish, And that does happen sometimes in 3.0 when they're playing something like Vultures that we have roots in the 90s or we have an idea of what it should sound, and then they're playing it in 3.0 and maybe what we're hearing and maybe it's different than what other 3.0 fans are hearing, because a lot of these versions are good, but I do think that they are a bit a shell sometimes. And I don't mean that in a mean way. We just got a few more here, guys. We're almost there. It's actually like 10 more. Dude. I feel like I want to skip this. There are a couple of things that I do want to just mention about Vultures before I forget. Just a couple side notes. So we have Razor to the Throat. We have Potato to the Throat. In Fishnet, it kind of claims it's either or. That was not my experience. My experience was the first one is either or, but then sometimes the other band members mix it up and say potato and knife. And as the jam goes on, sometimes you get a potato and a knife in a version. At least that's what I'm remembering. Somebody can go back and prove me wrong if they want.
I read that the studio version was potato as well.
Oh,
But I think they did it as a B-side and kind of recorded it but never released it.
Like the studio,
like
not the Trampled by Lambs.
No.
Okay.
I like Razor.
Yeah, I like Razor too. Much stronger.
Yeah.
And then just one thing I want to mention, and again, I'm not a musician, but there's a part in all the Vultures where at right around 3 minutes, it kind of like they're doing the Vultures, they have died, but they jump an octave, and it always happens like and the vocals jump an octave when they're singing at 3 minutes. Fucking love it. Like, I feel like every version, it like borderline gave me the chills, where I'm like, whose idea was it to do the octave jump at this moment in the song? And goddamn, that's genius. So
yeah, it lightens it up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's like suddenly like this little sparkly fireworks.
Yeah. It opens it up. It's kind of like, okay, here we go. And we just opened the door now. Where it's kind of claustrophobic before that. Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna like look through these real quick and see if there's anything I need to mention. No, not really. There was these really bad versions, like 14:23, 10:15, not great. But then on 7:30:24, it's really good. There's no woos. It's solid, and that's the second to last one. So I think they must have had a talk. So I think, and then the last one is 7:9:25, and it's really great. I think it's a great version, and it gives me a lot of hope for what comes next. I will just caveat. The jam section is a pretty derivative modern Phish type of jam, but it does very much work in the Vultures, and that it doesn't feel tacked on. and it definitely works. So, and that's good.
Okay.
So, all right, there's
Okay.
Vultures. Thank you for indulging everybody.
Vultures, yeah.
Hope you're a fan. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's painful.
I have editing power. Don't worry. We'll make it work.
Hey, what part is it?
It's a lot of Vultures.
All right, so we're still towards the end of the first set here.
Yes.
We're back.
We're back to Bye Bye Foot.
Right.
Loud thunder preceded this.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember listening, just laying back on the couch, headphones, listening to this first set. It scared me.
Mm-hmm.
Just listening.
Yeah.
Oof. Like you can feel like, I don't know, guys, are we going to keep going? Yeah. I mean, I'm not a giant Bye Bye Foot guy, but I thought it was good. I guess it's okay that it disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I always thought of this song as like a song that if they went into it in a jam and then it faded back out of that, I would think it was cool.
You want them to catapult it?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Like a bigger catapult.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's a standalone song.
Okay.
I think that's why it didn't last.
Right. I'm gonna go the other way with this and say that I love the poem. Just the poem itself, I think is really beautiful. I want to draw a line in the sand, and I want to cross, with you on one side, me on the other, cross over it so many times. That great stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And it's very pretty. And I guess that's what I'd say is that I like these sort of, like we like ballads, and I like it when they get soft. And I think that for me, the dynamics of this 3-song run of Vultures, Bye Bye Foot, and Taste, with the Vultures being like sort of this like crazy, like back and forth bouncy energy that's knocking me all over the place with this intense composition, and then Bye Bye Foot, which is this like pretty soft sort of ballad where I can chill out for a minute, and then to have this totally insane Taste follow it is like quite a run to me. And I think that it sort of tees up the second set, because like when I think of like if I was at this show from the Vultures till the end of the set, for me it's pretty nutsy, pretty nutso.
Yeah, but maybe like I see the Bye Bye Foot kind of as Ain't Love Funny, like we just heard in a few songs, where I want it to kind of flow into and out of rather than be this standalone thing.
Right.
I don't know that it has the weight to be a top to bottom standalone song yet. But I appreciate that they're trying and they're putting it in a really pivotal spot here.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it. I'm not knocking. But the band obviously agreed because it's not around anymore. But if they pulled it out mid-jam, I would be blown away and would love to see it. It would be exciting.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I do enjoy the lyrics too.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, it would be nice if it was a segue, no doubt.
And then Taste, the first headphones. Well, there's 3 headphones from this show, and they're right in a row here, I guess.
Yeah. Finishing
the first set and then the second. And just like the previous song, Loud Thunder, before this, it's definitely rolling in. And I heard that it was what were the words? Biblical, a thunderstorm of biblical proportions.
Right, correct.
Occurred during and past this Taste.
Yeah.
So they took a long set break and kind of truncated the set a little.
Right.
Although at this point, like maybe they would have played one more song.
Yeah, exactly.
Character Zero.
It's not that.
Definitely
it's not
a
that
Character
short.
Zero spot.
Yeah.
No.
The Taste is pretty fucking great.
A+.
Yeah.
A+. Great. Great. Just listen.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to hear a man play the piano? like someone should play the piano? My God. it's Phish against the gods. It's Phish against nature.
I was gonna say, it's
amazing.
It really reeks to me of like a spiritual infusion when that lightning cracks. Like something happens to the band when that lightning cracks. It's almost like it's a gift from, dare I say, God, the heavens, whatever you want to call it. It's like it's a gift to the band that infuses them with so much fire and energy. It
happens to me when I'm in a thunderstorm. It's exciting.
It's wild.
Your hairs stand up on your body. It's palpable. I'm in New England, man. We get serious thunderstorms a lot, and it's something else.
Yeah.
Like it terrifies my children. The earth is shaking. It is wild stuff. And a true, I guess North Carolina's not specifically New England, but they get serious thunderstorms, and it is, whew. Yeah, it's perfect.
And
this taste is A+.
And I think this is ultimately where the juggernaut of taste is born. I think there are amazing versions of taste before this, as we have mentioned. Many really great versions. But from this moment on, taste is now like a jam juggernaut for me. Like there's nothing better than this. Like a Harry Hood jam isn't going to be better than a taste jam to me. They're peers at this point. They're different. They're different, but I mean, they are getting to heights in taste here that it's pretty insane.
Yeah, and if people are discussing best tastes, say 10 Phish fans who are nerdy like we are, this is going to be in the mix.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it possibly the highlight of the show for me. I mean, I liked a lot of second set stuff. I just,
yeah.
This was, when I was done with this, I was left pretty high.
Well, I think
pretty high up on excitement.
With the lightning, it is kind of like a mythic Phish moment. Like this is a moment of Phish mythology. So like, even if I might argue that maybe the Gorge version on A3 has a little bit more, has extra mustard and may give me the chills a little bit more intensely, I feel like this one's got the tightness and the lore, which is, that's always what the argument is with best version. So yes, it's obviously on the list. But what I was going to say was that something that I always think about with this taste is like sometimes Phish gives the audience a gift, and sometimes the universe gives Phish a gift. More often than not, it's Phish giving us the gift. But there are a couple of instances, and I think this taste is one with the lightning, where it was kind of a gift from the heavens, just like the Tahoe Tweezer and the woos were a gift to the band, where I get that you're frustrated by the woos. Like, I get that we took them too far. But when you listen to that Tahoe Tweezer, I am so happy for the band. I cannot listen to that Tahoe Tweezer when people start wooing and think, oh my God, the band deserved that gift.
The
so
first
much.
woos were amazing. It's every woo after.
Yeah.
I love the first woos. Those are great.
Yeah.
I think the woos after tarnish the original.
Right. We gave the band
it's
the
trying to repaint the
stash.
Mona Lisa. What are you doing?
Right.
And on the one down thing, though, is Phish v. Nature. Nature wins. They tried, but they were forced to leave stage, took an extended set break.
Yeah.
And came back out to what is on paper and in reality just pretty much a dream set.
Yeah.
Down with Disease, Mike's Simple Weekapaw.
Right, and now there has
it.
not been a Weekapaw since 6/22/94. Hydrogen. There has not been a Hydrogen. Did I say Weekapaw? Oh
Yes.
my God, I almost gave you guys heart attacks. There had not been a Hydrogen since 6/22/94.
Yes.
Sorry.
Down with Disease, Mike's Simple Hydrogen Weekapaw.
Correct.
And Hello My Baby, I guess.
Yep.
Perfect Ender. I mean, it's just a dream set. And the Down with Disease and Mike's both get headphones.
Uh-huh.
And this is probably where a lot of your notes exist. It's where a lot of my notes exist.
Well, so in this Down with Disease jam, I'm assuming you think that there are some moments that are a little boring and unnecessary. Because that's probably true. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I thought that it really... Down with Disease was just 97 jamming.
Right.
It was like, it's like the perfect, bookends around what 97 jamming is supposed to be.
Correct. Yeah.
Fun intro, great tempo, and it just kind of sits there and does its thing.
Right.
builds up for a while, comes back, and then there's like a super sick jam, like funk blues kind of thing that emerges. And then, I don't know, the slowest, silliest transition ever in Mike's song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I
Right.
think it's great. They have to both shift keys and abruptly increase tempo, and somehow Johnny B. Fishman is able to do it. But wild, a true arrow. Yes, true arrow, but a wild moment. Not my favorite Down with Disease ever.
No.
Headphones, I don't know. I could argue the headphones one way or the other. But really cool, fun transition. I liked it. I like that they A+ for effort, on sticking with it. What are your thoughts on Down with Disease?
Okay, well, the first 10 minutes, nothing really happens. Like you said, it's just the classic 97 Down with Disease. It's just energy. It's just energy
feels good.
release. At 10 minutes, some space appears, but it's still in Down with Disease universe. And then shortly after that, I think the 97 Psychedelic Circus arrives in town. And this is like the type of jam that pops up throughout summer 97, right? This is like this is a summer 97 jam, and this is, one of the first times they've done it. So it's pretty specific to this time. And I do love this jam that they play. Kind of similar to the one I mentioned in 2010, where it's like, if you hear it, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, oh yeah, that jam. I know what you're talking about. I'll have to send you so you can put it in and people can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
But at 12 minutes, I feel like it's pretty deeply awesome stuff. And then it gets into that sort of like the aliens landing kind of sound. I feel like this is where they're kind of building that sort of aliens sound.
Yeah. The blips and the bloops and the...
Yeah, they're kind of bringing it into the repertoire. But it does, like you said, it falls into a bluesy cacophony. Mike really takes over for a while, but Fishman is just dancing.
It's fun, yeah.
Just dancing all over.
It's really fun.
He's just dancing all over. It's really great. And I focus on Fishman from this bluesy section till the end. I just like listening to Fishman going, this is a second to none. This is amazing what this man is doing with the drums right here.
Yeah,
so,
and like truly this transition should not work. This should not be okay. And they pull it off as clean. They stick the landing in a way that you're like, okay.
Yeah.
You guys kind of can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It shouldn't work.
Totally. Yeah.
Nothing. The songs are very far from each other in tempo and style. Like where they were jamming to Mike's song is like night and day, and they get there.
Right.
And they get there pretty quick. And the audience is right there with them. I think that's part of it is this crowd's fired up. They're soaking wet. It's hot. It's sticky. They just want to forget about their surroundings and have this musical experience. And they deliver. This was
I'm
cool.
so glad you said that, because that was kind of what I noticed, is that and I'm sure younger fans feel that these days, this feeling these days at these modern shows, even though I don't. But there was a point in these sets where they would do something and it would give you this like goose of excitement, like something crazy is about to happen. Like they just laid down the gauntlet. And there's something about when that Mike's like hits in the beginning where it's just, because it's kind of ugly and slow, and they just kind of like, and you just get this gut feeling like something really special is about to happen right now. And it does.
Yeah. This summer, like I'll never forget the transition at we may have to have a full episode on Alpine Valley from this tour.
Yeah.
Because that show 100% should be on this list. I think it's rated higher than a number of shows from this summer that are on this list.
Mm-hmm.
I would replace it with Shoreline the next night we're doing, even though we haven't done it yet.
Right.
I would flip those right away, and I was at both. But I think the Ain't Love Funny into Simple from that was similar to this, where it comes from nothing and build into this thing where the entire room, like I was almost crying.
Yeah.
And the way these like lights exploded and it spinning around you, and it suddenly Simple hit, and it was slow and sludgy, but like the transition should not have worked, and it worked in such a gorgeous way.
Right.
And I thought this was that.
Oh, now I
And the band just kind of had a can-do attitude of nothing will shake us, and we can do this.
They're playing with an all-time
And this Mike's was so fun.
Yeah, they're playing with an all-time confidence at this show.
Yeah.
You can like...
And you can see it watching the video.
You definitely can.
Oh, Fishman too, like through like when this Mike's gets into its dance party Phish section, which I loved. Like the minute it drops in the jam, you're just like, oh shit, dance party Phish.
Right.
Everyone, like the lights are sick, and Fishman is just his whole riser's shaking. He's got this little like head motion and just perfect groove. And Mike is really starting to explore funk Mike, which really grows this tour, and then 97 fall. 98, 90, he just keeps growing. But he's starting to stretch his legs a little. And like I said before, if he were soaking wet and sticky and hot and miserable, this is what you want.
Right.
So I get why people that were there, people that loved this show, like it deserves everything that it gets as far as appreciation.
Yeah, Mike's
really...
And Mike was amazing
awesome.
in it. This is why they call it Mike's song. I mean, this guy dominated this performance. His bass playing was so interesting. Kept it interesting the whole time. And I was just so like, I was like, Mike, man, you really...
He almost never repeated a phrase longer than like 4 to 8 bars. Like it was always shuffling things up. And
totally.
Like Fishman really held it down. It was sick.
And then I don't know if
it gets super... It's a one jam mic, so
right.
It doesn't do the transition. But it goes through like 4 stages of the jam.
Yeah, it does. And there's a lot of
super
really
dark
great listening,
and...
complimentary playing. Yeah, brooding playing, but very complimentary to what it's going with. I think Trey and Paige's sounds, like their tones together, were meshing in a really fishy, fun way.
Yeah, and then it gets to I call it the Pink Floyd last minute.
Right.
Before it goes into Simple. I loved that.
Yeah, and did you...
Kind of that dreamy...
Did you notice the blue aura around Mike? Like on the video, there was this point for like 10 seconds where he's just got this perfect blue aura outline around him. And it's just so cool looking because the video doesn't often look cool. But right after that jam where he just like kills it, that he gets this little aura. I'm like, oh, this is great. So.
I'm glad they started shooting the band from a little further away because it was like, all that video shot from right at their feet, basically. You're just, oh God, it's so like, I'm not here to watch fingers, you know? Like occasionally it's fine.
Sometimes.
But I kind of want to see the whole venue and get the vibe of the room. And I should have applied to be Phish videographer in 1993 and saw what happened.
Right.
I would have been 16.
That wouldn't have worked.
Anyway.
That wouldn't have worked.
That wouldn't have worked.
Then we get to Simple.
Yes, another good arrow.
Uh-huh.
They made it in. Yeah, it's slightly like a tough end to the mics. Like it's a little sloppy getting out of the mics into the Simple.
Yeah.
But Simple just immediately makes up for it.
Yeah.
Fucking Summer 97 Simples. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Such joy.
Yes.
Such positivity.
Yeah.
Like if I could feel this way all the time, this is therapy. I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like, what can be wrong when simple sauce?
This is like
great.
a perfectly made vanilla or chocolate ice cream. Like, it's not crazy,
Yes.
but it's just exactly what you want. And it's just so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just kind of bounce along like everything's fine. This is pretty great. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't go into any weird territory.
No.
Nothing's different.
No, it's pretty short. Yeah.
It just was great. Great.
And then we get to the first hydrogen in quite a while. It's not horrible, but
Yeah. Mixed reviews.
it's enough to
Couple
taint it a
flubs,
little bit.
but-
yeah.
Every time I saw hydrogen, good or bad, well, except for that one.
Yeah.
Every one other than the Vegas one, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it every time. I think it's a beautiful composition.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me feel good. I love the lights. I love it. I love it so much. You can tell they didn't maybe give it enough practices through, but it's all right.
Right.
And then Get It, Mike. Again,
Yep.
right?
No, absolutely.
I mean,
yeah. I
that
wrote
slap
I wrote
bass
the same
breakdown
sentence
was
again.
nuts.
Mike is showing why it's called Mike's Groove.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he really stepped up and he was like, guys, I got this set. We'll be all right.
Yeah, he's slaying. He is slaying that week above.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, it's not perfect. Like, to my ears at the end when Trey starts doing his crazy soloing, he's like a quarter second off. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that. And maybe it was just my ears and when I was listening to it, but it did sound just like a hair off to me. So if I'm gonna nitpick, that's my nitpick.
Yeah, he also did write in the Week of Paw section some real strange choices by the videographer through this set, and especially here, if you watch it, there's these star wipe and fades, like weird,
right.
Weird moments of video choices. And I don't know if this is what was being projected on the screens for the lawn or what, but it was weird. It was very weird, and it's weird the band. I mean, they didn't have any options. And to put this out as a DVD was an odd choice. But,
right.
Media being what it was in 2008, I guess I get it. It just was a strange choice. But
right.
And then how better to end a summertime love fest like this second set than with an a cappella Hello, My Baby. Hello, My Summertime Gal.
Yeah.
I love a cappella Phish, and I love it ending a set like this. It was great.
Totally. Yeah, great.
Top set list.
It's a great set.
Yeah.
Not too much. Like they're leaving you wanting more, right?
This is like the last show we discussed in Amsterdam where the second set was just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The first set had some ups and downs. It had some moments. But the second set was a complete emotional, structural piece of
it's a story.
music.
Yeah, right.
In the same way this one was.
Right.
And I think the difference between, and we'll probably get further into it, but the difference between this tour beginning, Europe into this tour beginning, and then by the fall was the first set could be this as well as the second set, where the first set might be the perfect story.
Right.
It might be 4 or 5 songs long, like they got to in the fall. And I think that shaking off that the first set's a bunch of little structured songs that all go together, and there's some little, the Grateful Dead model, let's say, where there's some improvising, but they're not super long, they're not super different. And then once we get to set 2, that's where the real meat is.
Right.
I think they broke that mold in Europe. And I think this kind of goes back to the old way a little, this set and this show.
Right.
But that later in this tour and by the fall, they're going to shake that all up again and say, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, you're totally right.
The confidence just builds and builds, snowballs through the United States this summer.
Yeah.
And by the end, it was, we're going to do whatever we want.
Right. They're going to destroy America is what they're going to do by the end of the year.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And then we get a circus, which is solid as an encore. I like the song.
Yeah.
And then Hood.
Yeah, there's some sloppy
Yeah.
but really emotionally great.
And then the Hood is just pure icing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting
I
a
think
Gary Hood encore. I don't know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, cutting that first set a little short, I think this set more than makes up for. And the Hood was kind of here you go, guys. This is a full show. You didn't miss anything. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I again talk about the shooting of the video and how bad it is. Yeah, I also, what's weird is all four members are listening so well through the middle part of the jam, and I'd normally call it a B+ Hood.
Right.
But if I were to play this Harry Hood against any Harry Hood like pre-94
It's a C.
or post-2004,
Yeah.
like it's amazing.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah.
It's
but for
amazing.
this period, it's a C.
And that's what's crazy is and that's why a quarter of this list is from this era, because we're having to split hairs on a perfect head of hair here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pick your person you know with a perfect head of hair. It's not me.
No, it's true.
We're splitting hairs on that.
Yeah.
This is tough. Because this Hood was a joy to listen to.
Yeah, and I absolutely, I'm totally with you. Is what a treat.
Yeah.
What a treat it is. And I will say about this.
If they played this now, this would be the greatest Hood that the band has ever played.
Well, I think that's going a little far. They've played some great Hoods in 3.0. Guys, Sam didn't mean that. He's
Yeah.
just, that was based on, the few he's heard.
Yes. Sure.
I don't want people logging off mid-episode. One of the things that were great about this video, which like we've talked about, is cheap and it's like coming off VHS, so it's like a little grainy and whatnot. But goddamn, if Page's facial expressions, he was having such a good time on this night. You could just listen to Johnny B. Fishman and look at Page's facial expressions throughout this show, and you will be thoroughly entertained. And notice at the end of the taste how when Page gets up, he's like shaking his hands because they hurt. He's like, "Ow, I think I hurt my hands." That's
Yeah. That's what you want. Pain in the hands.
I love it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've been requested, you and I, to discuss music we've been into lately that's not Phish.
We'll get to it. Let me just add a couple more points about this show, Sam, because you're saying this show is definitely on the list, and I know I've been a little bit.
I think so.
I've been a little bit more.
Like I said,
yeah.
We need to get through the summer.
Yeah. Now, Shoreline is not on this list, correct?
Shoreline is next.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was going to say I would choose Shoreline over this.
Shoreline is next.
Okay.
But Ventura's not on the list. Alpine Valley's not on the list. Neither Gorge is on the list.
That's
like
fair.
we're hitting some, I believe, and we will be quickly corrected as we go forward. I believe it's Shoreline, one of the Deer Creek nights.
Okay.
And then the two Great Wents.
Okay.
And starting at Arizona, which I believe is 2 or 3 nights after this, was where I saw every show until the Great Went.
Right.
And Arizona should be on this list potentially.
Yeah.
Ventura should be on this list potentially. Both Gorge shows were good, but
No, they're not. But they're not whole show. They're not whole show good.
No.
Yeah.
But Alpine for sure.
Yeah.
There's moments along the way we'll have to discuss. Maybe what we do is we discuss the shows around the shows as we go and be able to throw some highlights in there. And I do think we should have a separate Alpine night.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of 72397 too, with the Ghost and the Yem with the Klezmer Jam and the
Rocky Mountain Way, right?
Like that's a killer show too. Yeah, there's just so much good stuff in this era. But yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
But this does have the official.
I think it gets there because the thunderstorm, the lore, the epic taste to kind of end that set makes you think, wow, that whole set was great. Right. And then this Down with Disease Mike's simple Week of Paw was pretty special.
Yeah.
Pretty special. Yeah. Really, it's just a well-structured, well-executed piece of Phish that, There's almost nothing wrong.
Right. Okay, 722,
So
you're on so far.
We'll get to the end. It's going to be a tight 100. There's a lot to shove off here. I still want to add Arrowhead Ranch, so we got to go back in time. All right, a few albums that I highly recommend from this year. We're coming to the year end. This episode will not be out until we're into 2026. Please, God, let next year be a good year. I heard it was the year of the horse, and it's supposed to be. The worse this year was, the better that year will. I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of garbage. I loved the new Wolfman record this year. There's a bunch of good tracks off of it. The new Wolfpack record was okay, but I almost loved the Wolfman a little more. I don't know if everyone listened to Alex G's new record. Huge fan. I know I mentioned that to you. I thought it was great. The whole world is talking about Geese right now, but the new Geese record is incredible.
It is, and so is Cameron Winter's new album too. He's one of the members.
Oh, that was right. That was going to be next on my list here.
Yeah.
I just saw that I saw a video of him being filmed by P.T. Anderson playing a grand piano at, I believe, Radio City fucking Music Hall.
It wasn't just P.T. too. Somebody else big was there filming also.
Yeah. Amazing. Also, I'm a big Waxahachie fan, and there was like a super group. It was Snowcaps and Waxahachie. And I sent you that, and I would highly recommend it. Also, Pitchfork has talked it up a lot, and the more I listen to it, the more I love it. The new Wednesday record is incredible.
Okay.
It is so many styles. And what did I read on Pitchfork? I think they said of their top 100 songs this year, it was the most artists that have never been on their top 100 list ever.
Wow.
So of the 100, it was more artists that have never been on that list than have been on before of all the lists they've done.
Yeah.
And this speaks to the future of music, and I am so excited. I'm so excited for new artists to come in, new voices, new opinions. Yeah. It's a really hard time being a musician right now.
Yeah.
I think
impossible.
People, music is just free. People just assume it to be free. I don't see how streaming services can pay artists. I don't understand how it works. I know we don't get paid to do this, but we put a lot of our time in. Yeah. And the traditional path of get good at your local bar and get noticed and signed by a record label and go on to fame and fortune is gone. That is gone.
Yeah.
Maybe you make money from live shows and merch, but it's not what it used to be. And then something like COVID happens and you can't play live and you're done. You got to go get a job.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's a rough time. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Trey and Corey were being kind of positive about it on the podcast, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm being positive that I'm excited about the youth, as always. I'm excited about what's coming. I'm excited about all these new artists that I'm listening to. It almost seems like once a week I hear a song. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've heard in so long. And it's new takes and approaches on music. Like no one sings like Cameron Winter. He's like a young Tom Waits. I don't understand what's going on there.
Yeah, he's got a really unique voice. I
love it. It's haunting and captivating, and it's the kind of thing I play for someone and they go, what the fuck is this? I'm like, no. Give it a minute. And then they'll come back to me a week later and go, you know what? I listened to that by myself quietly, and you're right. It was incredible.
Nice.
What do you got?
Well, do you guys like comedy? You want to watch a stand-up comedy? I recommend this comedian Emily Wilson. She has a new stand-up special on YouTube, and it's pretty fucking funny. She was cracking me up. She's musical. Cool. She's got a great voice. But yeah, just really funny comedian. You want to do some laughing? Check her out. Emily Wilson. Speaking of podcasts, am I allowed to promote another podcast? Is that all right?
Please. That's what we do.
I love movies, and I enjoy listening to movie podcasts. And I like, like one of these like kind of movie file guys that have like seen, I believe the word is cinephile, but I like movie file because I don't take it as seriously.
Movie file.
I'm seeing, I try and see like all the shit I'm supposed to see. But I like to go back and rewatch stuff. So it's fun to like listen to a movie podcast where they kind of, like we're doing, discuss a movie in detail and then go back and watch the movie and kind of appreciate it on different levels. And I found this podcast called What Went Wrong. And they just kind of discuss like movie productions where like lots of things went wrong. And sometimes it's a shitty movie and sometimes it's a really great movie. It's not necessarily because the movie's great or shitty, but it's just because the production of the movie was so interesting. But yeah, I love this podcast. What Went Wrong? I would definitely check it out.
What went wrong?
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. And I'm loving that. As far as music goes, I got my, Spotify Wrapped. Sure, I should be embarrassed to say I'm on Spotify, but Sam and I like to send each other playlists, and that's the way, like one of the ways we communicate. That's how you're listening to.
I'm on everything.
Yeah, this is how you're listening to our podcast. It's only on Spotify. We're terrible people, and I'd like to add that Sam and I spent basically all of our expendable income on music from the time that we were children until the time that we were married. So I feel like we kind of get a pass on this whole Spotify thing. All right.
I also have a wall of vinyl next to me that was all purchased.
Yeah.
And I'm looking behind you, and none of that was free. So, yes, we're still like old media.
Right.
But Spotify is just so portable and transportable, and it is really fun to send. I'm going to send you right when we get past New Year's my list for the year. I've dug up some real cool old funk stuff.
Totally. I just actually, somebody recommended the Errant Path playlist to me, which is John Fishman's radio show, which I didn't realize we could listen to, but they're all on Spotify. I think there's like 121 hours. And I just started listening to that, and I'm like, this is great. So I'm really loving that. But in terms of my Spotify Wrapped, they think I'm 76 years old, which I think is a fair assessment. How old do they think you were?
I mean, we're almost there.
Yeah.
In honesty, we've lived 76 years of life.
My 8-year-old son was 25, and then my 10-year-old son was 41. He was pretty proud of it. Did you get your age? What did it tell you how old you were based on your list?
I got a few things to say about the Wrapped. One, the year's not over until December 31st ends at midnight.
Yeah.
So giving it to us early December is bullshit. You got to give us 12 months.
Right.
2, I have an issue because I have so many Spotifys because I run business. And my business Spotify, I'm in the top 1% of music listened and podcast listened because I walk in the door and it's on for 12 straight hours.
Right.
At work. I'm podcasts all day, music during service. And then my personal one that I travel with is a very different one.
For sure.
So those ages are different.
Yeah.
My personal I travel with is much younger than my one at work because at work I think I also was 76.
Right.
Maybe 78 because I have to kind of, listen to the music that my audience wants to hear. And I would say my average diner is probably somewhere between 40 and 80.
Right.
So that makes sense. But I think my personal, I was like 46 or 42, so I was close to.
Wow, good for you. You're staying hip. I think my problem is
I'm listening to a lot of young stuff. I got kids.
Yeah.
I saw Cave Town this year. I mean,
wow.
Cave Town was amazing. I was blown away by how good they were. Like, I go see young stuff.
Guys, Sam saw Cave Town. I'm 76.
I got a teenager. As of yesterday, I got a teenager. And I put on Adrienne Lenker the other day because when Trey was talking about her, I was like, oh, I loved that album. Let me put it on again. And my teenager is like, oh my God, I love this song.
Sure. Big Thief is huge.
Every time I listen to music and they're like, oh, I love this song. Like it's such a moment of, your dad's real cool.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Do you want to spend the next 10 years listening to all this music I keep in this room and going through every record one by one and talking about history and the future of music? Like, yeah, they don't, but I would love to. I
enjoy the battle. Like I enjoy them pretending that I'm wrong and then me eventually convincing them and them having to silently relent that I do have good taste. Whether it be movies or music.
But I try.
Yeah.
I just tried to watch Christmas Vacation with them.
Uh-huh.
And one left before it started and said, I'm not interested. And the other one politely watched and did not enjoy it.
Wow. Girls. What's wrong with you?
It's because it's not in your face the whole time.
My boys love it. That's Bowie's favorite Christmas movie.
But the weird moment happened at the beginning.
Yeah.
So they're laying in bed. It's early on in the movie. and Clark and
his fingers are sticking
Right,
to
Linda?
the magazine because of the
Yes.
sap. Yeah.
That's when I was trying to have a conversation about physical comedy.
Yeah.
Because Chevy Chase, believe what you want, seems like a real dick.
Yeah.
Master of physical comedy.
Absolutely.
And we are watching that scene, and my younger one looks over and goes, "Hey, this is boring." And it was a 2-minute conversation
Yeah.
of a husband and wife in bed about being nervous about having all these people over for the holidays. And I have this conversation with my wife all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a regular old thing, but it's not explosions and popping and moving. And like this child, also their favorite television show is The Simpsons, and they've watched every episode multiple times.
Uh-huh.
And The Simpsons could not be, they jam so much into every scene and every moment. And I think that's part of it, is that drama is different for kids in this modern age. That's all. This is another podcast.
No, I experienced the same thing, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot, and because there is an ability to fast forward, there's a lot of, can you just fast forward through this? And I'm like, no, I can't.
There's a lot of checking how much more time is left in this.
Yes, correct. And I think lots of times kids have like an idea about what they want to watch in their head, and then we as an adult make a decision, and then their response is, this is boring. But really what it's about is, I wanted control. I tend to think like almost all the complaints that come from my kids it's just a battle for control.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Guys, Ian and I are going to start an offshoot parenting podcast. And it's going to tear up the airwaves. Just wait. Just wait.
If I wasn't afraid of like ruining their adulthood, and I was able to actually tell some legit stories of the shit that goes on in my house, I would. But I'm aware that this is a public forum and I can't do that.
Yes.
But whatever. Kids are fun. They're fun.
I was recently thinking the other day that this may be the only thing, at some point in my life when I'm gone, this may be a thing my children choose to listen to remember me.
Uh-huh.
And it added more weight to what we do a little bit.
For sure.
It's like, oh, so I do want to be honest with my stories, because my kids are going to be grown up soon. They're going to understand their dad did some things.
Sure.
We had a conversation recently, my dad and I, about, my big one just turned 13, and I have a teenager, and we were talking about when we were 13. And I was like, wow, I think I remember stealing liquor out of my friend's dad's liquor bottles and filling them up with water just to see what happened. And I'm looking at my 13-year-old thinking, that's not what's going on. And my dad saying, well, I had a job and I used to do this, and I was a Boy Scout, and times have changed. Yes. And I think we grew up in a really interesting time, and our children are also growing up in a very interesting time. They're just, it's different. It's not good. It's not bad. Totally. It's not better. It's not worse. It's just different.
It's just like 6'7",
And oh my God. I saw someone the other day saying, we bitch about, it was some reel on Instagram about like, we bitch about 6'7", and it was just Beavis doing cornholio, like walking around the police station. I need DP4 to my bunghole. It's like, yeah, we were this. It's all the same.
Yeah, totally. It's very charming.
I love this. Like, I don't care about the 6'7", but I think it's charming. Yeah, as you said. It's
great. We got a little off track on recommendations. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else? I've been watching Pluribus, the new Vince Gilligan show. I love it. It's it's doing some weird stuff. I like the way every couple episodes I'm like, oh, this is a new show now. I like this. So very much like Phish. It's very cool. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, but my big listening has been like, I pick a band and then I listen to their entire catalog. And that's how I spent like a very large percentage of my year. So as far as Spotify is concerned, like I listened to Bob Dylan, Peter Tosh, the Moody Blues, like I'm doing like all these catalog, but I actually did the entire Ween catalog this year as well.
Oh yeah,
that was really fun. But
it always shocks me what good songwriting there is.
Oh yeah.
My God,
Ween's got so
many pop hooks, and
I listened to a lot of Brian Eno this year. So yeah, one thing I do want to mention a couple things. Have you heard Fred Armisen's sound effect album, 100 Sound Effects? It's really funny.
No.
Oh, check it out.
I heard about
It's
it.
very funny. Yeah.
I religiously listen to the Seth Meyers and Lonely Island podcast.
Yeah.
And I remember them mentioning that.
Like I don't want
I
to
will.
say it's like an aesthetically pleasing listen, but you do it on, you
No,
put
no,
it
no.
on, and you're like, oh, this shit is funny. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, and then what else? I just, in terms of Bob Dylan, I'm sure I mentioned it on the show before, but I've listened to a lot of Bob Dylan in my life, but this was the year that I discovered Street Legal, and it's just one of my all-time favorites now. So.
Yeah, I will send you, like I said, once we get past New Year's, I'll send you my, like I always do, my playlist for the year.
Cool.
But I found some cool 70s and 80s stuff this year, some obscure funk, if you will.
Nice. Have you listened?
I gotta plug
the Pink
Hold on
Floyd
a sec.
the Pink Floyd 50th anniversary remaster of "Wish You Were Here"? Sounds pretty insane if you're a Floyd fan. Got a great great live show, full live show on there from the era, which is also excellent.
Yeah, sometimes I'm on the fence with these remasters, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I feel like they just slap a lot of garbage in there, but sometimes it's worth it.
well, there is there's a pedal steel guitar version of "Wish You Were Here." That's just like David Gilmour playing pedal steel. It's gorgeous.
Oh.
It is freaking gorgeous.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I would definitely check that out.
Yeah, I got into a lot of like early 80s funk music for a stretch, so there'll be some tracks on there. Have you ever listened to Prince's first record? The very, very, very first record?
No, I don't think so, actually. Probably not.
All right. It's pretty great.
It's pretty
There's
great.
a song called Soft
Uh-huh.
and Wet.
Okay. Oh, wait, I know that song.
But I'll send you some. I'll send you my list.
Yeah,
I found some cool stuff this year.
Maybe I have listened to it.
Some cool stuff.
Speaking of being honest, I've definitely lost a few brain cells over the years. All right,
I'm still losing them. I know.
let's wrap it up.
All right. This is a long one. It was a good one. I'm happy to be back here. We'll be at Shoreline next time on 731. It was my first time ever going to Shoreline. The stories will really begin these next shows. I will have a lot of deets on as far as whatever I can remember of being there. Every time I saw Phish at Shoreline, I had a great time.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be episode 49. We are almost at 50. It's kind of a strange 50, but I'm glad, again, show I was at. So we will get there.
Strange
and you and I will
50?
discuss-
What? Shoreline is a strange 50?
No. Shoreline's 49.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Like I said, I think it's Deer Creek. Just a rando summer show is 50, but that's fine.
I will have no Shoreline hate here.
No. Shoreline was fun. It's the M.
It's the yeah. I have a personal affinity for it because it's my birthday show. My birthday is on August 1st.
Yeah.
And it was on 7/31, and they played Happy Birthday to Jerry, and all you guys said Happy Birthday to me, and it still warms my heart when I think about it. So we'll be discussing that next time. All right, Sam, that was a wonderful conversation. Really enjoyed that. And
always.
I can't wait to get into summer 97.
Yeah, we'll keep digging for a while and spend, I don't know, I was thinking about if 22% of this is in this year, we're going to spend years in 97.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. I'm going to get in like a hot tub. I'm going to luxuriate. It's going to be nice.
Fantastic. And to all our listeners, if when you listen to this episode, you aren't annoyed by my pedantic discussion of vultures, you can thank Sam for that editing. Thank you, Sam. Great job. All right,
I just trim the fat. Baby, that's all I do. Sharp knife.
Till next time, we will see you for episode 49. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.